That's Emma Dilemma from her brand new EP, Ouch, My Head Hurts, a 5-track release she calls a surprise EP. So we called Emma in Christchurch on release day, which was also Good Friday, to find out why this EP came as such a surprise to her.
I've been sitting on the 2 new songs on the EP. I've been sitting on them for a long time, kind of waiting for magical funding or just signs to the universe to be like, yeah, okay, well, let's put out an EP and stuff. I'd always planned to put out this EP, but, those plans started probably about 2 years ago. And just like not last weekend, but the weekend before, I kind of just went, why am I waiting around? Like, I'm making so much other new music over here, which means that's going to all be put off getting out even longer because I'm taking my time on the stuff that I haven't put out. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to email my label and be like, can I put an EP out in 10 days? And they were like, if you send everything now, we need artwork, we need blah, blah, blah. So I was like scrambling to make the artwork and like getting everything together. But yeah, it's a surprise to me in a way. But mostly a surprise to anyone who, I didn't hype anything up because I didn't have time. So it's just like, boom, here it is. Okay.
Here we go. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So it's 5 tracks, 3 of which we've heard already and 2 that are new. So let's start with the new ones and we'll take it from there. Opening with that Bitch Is Crazy is the opening track. It's a new one, right?
That is a new one.
All right, tell me about it.
That bitch is crazy. Gotta learn to take control. That bitch is crazy. Finally gonna take a toll. That bitch is crazy. Taking too much to pull. That bitch is crazy. She's gonna ruin me, but do I really see? She'll run from that bitch.
I still laugh every time I hear that song title because it just sounds so juvenile. But I mean, like, it's that's a song that I started working on probably, it was the night of my 30th birthday. So I'm not going to say how old I am, but that's a few years ago now. And
not as long as mine was.
No, I'm 35. I'm not afraid of my age. But yeah, it was kind of inspired after the night of my birthday when I had a few friends around and another person in the room. It was their birthday the day after mine. So when it got to midnight and we'd been partying, it turned into his birthday. But I just said something like, I was inebriated.
Okay.
And just something came out of my mouth that was like not inappropriate, but could have been potentially harmful to the birthday boy. And I didn't really think about it at the time until the next day. My partner at the time kind of brought it up with me and told me off. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that would be something that would offend someone or blah, blah, blah. So like, I ended up taking this guy out for coffee a few days later and talking about what I said and how he felt about it. And it was all fine. We were good friends. We're still friends, smoothed it over. But yeah, that song came out of it about the way that I can't control myself when I'm under the influence of substances or alcohol and stuff like that, and kind of just telling myself off and seeing that person that I think is a naughty, bad person as like a person separate from me and being like, that bitch is crazy. I'm not crazy. I just need to kind of sort my own shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where that song came about.
Well, I'm impressed that you got a hold of the guy and worked it out, one-on-one, had a civilized conversation afterwards, because the rest of the world seems to sort their dirty laundry out in public on social media.
They do, or they just ignore it altogether.
Oh, that, yeah.
And, I'm an avoidant queen, so I've been known to avoid emotions and conflict, but I'm growing up and I know that I need to address things especially when I know that I'm in the wrong, instead of running away and being like, I'm not in the wrong, I'm not. Yeah.
Now I see you're working with Andrew and Victoria of The Response.
Yes.
What's happening there? How do you guys work together?
Well, we're all artists here down in Christchurch. So I've known Andy and Vic for a super duper long time. And they are just amazing music producers and they're super fast. And so I think they came to me 3 or so years ago with like an unused like musical like instrumental of theirs that they thought could suit something for me, and that's where Ready or Not came from. I was like, yes, this absolutely is up my alley. I wrote a song to it right away, and like we weren't together. We lived like 15-minute drive from each other, but we went back and forth on this song, producing the song together, writing the song together, Ready or Not, me in the studio, them at their studio, at their house, never once being in the room together to make like these songs. But that was the first one that they sent through to me. And I really loved the process of collaborating with them because they're so fast. I don't feel like, well, I feel still a little bit of guilt, but I don't feel mass guilt when I'm like, I don't like that part. Can we
Yeah,
change
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Or, whatever. And yeah, so we started just doing a few more together. So on this EP, Bitch is Crazy, Ready or Not, Libra, and Hate Me When You're Sad are all in collaboration with
4
them.
out of 5.
Yeah, to varying degrees. They're amazing to work with.
Yeah.
And yeah, they can produce kind of guitar sounding music way better than I can
Very
myself. So
crunchy guitar sound. Is that what you were after?
yeah, this EP is still kind of like on that punk buzz. It's a follow on from my album, but it's
Right.
still just as chaotic generally, like genre wise,
Right.
but still embedded in live drums and guitars and stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool. So the other new song is "You Only Hate Me When You're Sad," so,
Hmm.
which has a kind of garbagey vibe and title.
Yeah, yeah, true. You're only happy when it rains. Yeah, I call this like my debut country song because
Okay.
it's got like the slide guitar and it's still like pop rock really, but it's
Yeah.
got that like country tinge to it.
You only hate me when you're sad. Make me feel like Big Mr. Bad. When I'm the best you've ever had. You only hate me when you're sad. Don't tell me I'm exaggerating. I love you, but this shit is getting old.
This song was kicking around for quite a bit as well, just as like a voice note on my phone of me and an acoustic guitar going, "You only hate me when you're sad." And I never really did anything to it. And out of that process of doing a couple tracks with Vic and Andy, I was like, I'm just gonna send them this like shitty little voice note and just see what they do. And like this is how fast they are. Like I send them a voice note like, "Hey, do you want to see if we can like develop this song together?" And then like within 24 hours, like they've sent back like a full instrument, like
That's
fully
pretty
produced
impressive.
instrumental. And my first thought was like, nah, too country. I can't, nah, I don't really like country music that much, or it's just I don't think it's the vibe. And later that night my little sister was around and she is a huge like music nerd. Like she just loves and finds the most obscure stuff and weird genres that you've never heard of,
Right.
but she still loves pop music as well. And she came around and I kind of just showed her and she was like, "No, I reckon like lean into it, like push it even like as country as you can comfortably." She's like, "Because you do any genre, like just fuck with it even more." I was like, "Okay." So we stuck with it. And yeah, I really like that song actually. I like the
No,
vibe
that's
of
pretty
it.
cool. Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but allegedly, rock and roll is a subgenre of country now. So they've taken it over.
What?
So
Well, I'm perfect timing for that then.
exactly, you're right on the nose. Very good. Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting. The response, I know they did an album with Rodney Fisher from
Yes.
Christchurch. So I wonder what they kind of. So they must be very good at collaborating with it because your story is great. They get right back to you and they're right on top of
Oh
things.
man, yeah,
So
they're amazing. I mean, they're a married couple and they've made music as
yep,
the response. That's their band for over a decade, like a really long time, and they're just incredible. So I think the fact that a married couple can make music together, which trust me, I've tried to do that in the past, like I'm impressed. They're just a dream team. They're just, yeah, they're brilliant.
yeah, cool, cool. So the one song that isn't a response collab is "Bad All Day," which goes back to 2023.
I don't care, I don't play. I'll stay in my bed all day, day, day. Life isn't worth it, sick of all of that shit, so I just stay in bed all day. I hear the buzz of my piece of shit alarm, letting me know that it's time to face the day now. Maybe if I would just keep shut my eyes, I can ignore all the things that I said I do. I think that I should take a little day to stay right here in bed and maybe plan my life out. But will I try? Will I just be scrolling the internet for 8 hours? Oh, shit.
Yeah, and because Beetle Day's on it, because Beetle Day existed and the idea for this EP existed when Beetle Day, like, preceded Beetle Day. So Beetle Day was always intended to be on it. But yeah, that was just produced and released way before the other things, because Beetle Day was meant to be like the lead single to my next album, and I was like, I don't feel like writing an album right now, and I don't have any like inspiration to, so Beetle Day just kind of floated out there, getting further and further away,
Right.
while I was chipping away at these other 4 songs, you know. But yeah, it's still on there because it was the launch pad to this whole little
Understand.
collection of
It all makes
thoughts,
sense now.
Yeah. But that one was produced with the guys that produced my debut album Spit, Alex and Harley. They make up a duo called Le Savage, and they're based in Melbourne. So
Right.
yeah.
So now that you've got this out and about and kind of makes way for whatever is coming next, what is coming next? What do you got? What are you thinking about?
Just completely the opposite of this kind of stuff.
Okay.
I've had like a really massive personal growth 12 months. Like my music's always kind of been more rock influenced because of just the nature of growing up playing guitar, and as a teenager rock bands were kind of the only thing that were available to me, and so I found myself in that space for a really good chunk of the start of my career up until this EP really. And but I've always just loved pop and R&B and hip hop music.
Uh-huh.
And now that I'm teaching myself to produce, that's what's coming out, and influenced by the last 12 months of my life, which has involved like a 9-year relationship ending, going to live overseas in Los Angeles for 3 months, traveling by
How was
myself
that?
for
What
a
was
month.
that like?
It was great, but I
But
I basically went over there like just running away from my problems of
Gotcha.
what was going on here with the breakup and stuff like that, and I didn't
Usually
really
people
consider
run away
that.
from the LA to come to New Zealand to get away from the problem. You're
I
doing
know,
it all wrong.
but it was something that I'd always wanted to go and like live in LA.
Right.
But my ex just was never for that idea. So it was more like we broke up and I went, I can do whatever I want. I can do
Right.
anything that I've ever wanted. I've just booked a one-way flight there kind of thing, and just was like, I'll figure this out.
Yeah.
I didn't figure it out because I ran out of money, because I forgot that I was paying for my mortgage here and rent there.
Whoops.
And a whole bunch of other things like in my personal life were still going on while I was
Right.
over there. It made it quite difficult to navigate for me and enjoy my time and making the most of my time there, because everything back here at home was still exploding. I ran away, but it was still exploding. How does that work?
So you
How
had
did
to
I
run
not
back.
think that would happen? Yeah. Yeah, so the music that I'm making now, looking forward to the future, is kind of, more dark and somber and emotional and reflective, as opposed to just being like, hey, here's some silly songs about how the world is absurd. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. Something to look
Yeah.
forward to. And you mentioned your
Yeah.
sister is a music nerd. Is she a musician as well?
She does play a little bit of bass, but no, she doesn't do music. She works in events, so she travels around the world. Like she's about to go work at Glastonbury and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
geez, that's
she
pretty
just loves music,
Right.
like loves
Yeah.
live music. Yeah, I couldn't think of a worse job, but
I was thinking maybe you could collaborate together, but there you go.
go deal with 100 million people at a festival. No, thank you.
No,
Unless I'm on stage. Let's
Of
go.
course, then you got to be in the right place. Absolutely. All right. Well, it's
Yeah.
something to aspire, and maybe your sister can help you make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your Friday, your Good Friday, your release day
Yeah.
Friday. It's very exciting. We'll hopefully see you up here again sometime soon in Auckland, and you can do some gigs and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and also for doing this on your holy day.
Every day is a holy day.
I agree.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.